What's up, my fellow trashinaires? Welcome back to another episode of good content. And on today's episode, like I said last time, we are going to cover Encanto. So yeah, honestly, I was surprised how good this movie was. Like, the last Disney Pixar movie I watched was Luca, and I have covered that. You should watch it, because it doesn't have that many views. Please go watch it. Anyway, so yeah, it's really good. So I'm gonna say this now. Spoiler warning, because this is how we do things. Also, don't mention my hair. I am gross. You can probably notice that I also changed something with the background. The display case no longer has the side panels, so it's more open. And now, before filming this, I came up with a new gimmick, a Godzilla moment, where something cool happens, I can lean back and go, "That's a Godzilla moment." Hope you can hear that. Thank you, Godzilla. Anyway, let's just get right into it. So the story starts out with a flashback where Mirabel is being talked to her by Abuela about their family and how they get gifts, probably when they're around 5 or so. And so once they get their gifts, they use them to help the people within the Encanto. The Encanto, the name is in reference to the town inside a giant wall of mountains that was, spoilers, made when Abuela was chased out of her town while it was being raided, I think, like by conquistadors or whatever. And her husband, that she loves dearly, had to leave, but the people were still chasing them. And so her husband just was like, no, stop, don't take them, take me instead. So he died, and Abuela, she had a candle and just knelt down crying. Because honestly, you're going to be pretty upset if you watch your partner die right in front of you while they try to save your life. So she cries, and then suddenly the candle becomes magic. And so suddenly a barrier of mountains comes up, which this is the formation of the Encanto. And after a while, and they get to the center of it, Abuela has the candle, and suddenly a house gets built from the candle. And that becomes Casita, which, by the way, Casita is a living, house. I know Casita might sound like castle, but it's not a castle. It's more of like a good mansion. Anyway, so she lives there for basically the rest of her life with her 3 kids. Juliet, I think I'm pretty sure it's Juliet. Peppa, because she's spicy. I meant that like emotion range, not like that, whatever. And then the one we don't talk about, Bruno. Anyway, so she lives there, they grow up, they get powers from the Encanto and Casita, and the candle, of course. And she grows up and she starts developing this need to have everything be perfect, and so she won't be able to lose her home again. But that negatively affects the family. Then a generation later, Mirabel is born, along with her 2 sisters and her 3 cousins. But during her ceremony where she gets her gift, something goes wrong, and I don't actually think she doesn't get a gift. I think she does. My theory is that she does get a gift, but it plays into the narrative storytelling of the movie, where every time something needs to get explained, there's a musical, of course, because it's a musical. But that's actually Mirabelle's gift, because we've seen many times, especially in concept art, that she knows how. She's an artist. She likes to play the thing. I forgot the name. My back. So yeah, I think that the times where Mirabelle sees people singing is actually her power, where she gets to understand what a person is feeling and thinking at the moment, so she can better understand them and help them out. That's her gift. If there's ever going to be a second movie, or even better, a TV series with the characters from Encanto, I think that would be a really good angle for explore, or even the outside world, because we only get like 2 snippets of the outside world that are both outdated and very little seen. Because at the very end, we do see the outside, like past the mountains, but it's only in the forest, so it doesn't really count. Anyway, so but she doesn't get a gift, so she gets sort of like pushed away from the family. Like, she's still a part of it, but she has a gift, so she's useless to us. While everyone else she knows in her family, besides her tios, her dad and her uncles, Bruno and Felix. So, no, it's just her dad and her uncle Felix. They don't have powers. They married into it. So also Abuela doesn't have powers either. She's the candle holder. She walks around like this, and she's like, "I have the candle. My family's so great, but I don't realize they're actually hurting inside." So anyway, let's see. So yeah, she's 15 years old now. It's been 10 years, and the night that she didn't get her gifts, Abuela asked Bruno to see into the future, because that's his gift. He can see into the future. And he sees that Mirabelle is going to either break the house, which she does, or fix... Well, it shows that she breaks the house, but fixes it as well. Which means she does literally break the house, but she also fixes it along with fixing some of her family's problems. So Bruno disappears mysteriously into the walls, by the way. So yeah. But basically after that, everyone's grown up, and she's obviously grown some like emotional issues with not being able to have a gift, and what that means for her as being a part of this magical, enchanting family. But one day, when one of her cousins, Antonio, he's about to get his gift, which is the first person to get a gift since Mirabelle, of course. So everyone's high-strung, and they want everything to go perfect, because the last time they went. So they keep like messing with Mirabelle and be like, "You don't need to worry about this. Just go off and do you. Things were going to go perfect for Antonio. You don't need to worry about this." So yeah, but when the serial comes and when it starts, Antonio gets cold feet, and he asks Mirabelle to help him. So they walk up to his door. By the way, the ceremonies, they get their powers when they grab their the door to their special room. And once they grab it, they get their powers, and their door becomes like a version. They show the person and their power. So also, by the way, it's weird that they make Mirabelle stay in the nursery, because she doesn't have a special room, because she has no powers. And they just make her stay in the nursery. That's weird and kind of messed up. I know they want to like be a family and like be in the same house, show their mightiness and their magic, but it's kind of gross to me. Give her some sort of room. I don't care. The house is magical. It can just shape. It can like maneuver its parts into doing crazy shit. So yeah. And Tony gets his powers. He gets the powers to talk to animals and help them and make them do stuff for him. So yeah, but during the party, after, Mirabel notices the casita breaking, and she warns everyone, but when they come to look, it's all gone. But Abuela does, Abuela, of course, she's the main one to be like, oh, it's fine, the house is fine, and the drinks are powerful, which is weird, because Mirabel's 15, and by her, Abuela saying that the drinks are strong, that means they're probably saying that, I don't know, I don't care. This takes place in Colombia, by the way, in the early 20th century. So who cares about the rules and what they do? So yeah. After that, Mirabel is like, the magic is dying. We have to take care of it. We have to save it. Right, Casita? But how do you save a miracle? So, first, they go to Dolores, because she hears everything within the Encanto. Maybe even more, we don't know. By the way, no one has talked, well, I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but Dolores always squeaks, and I love that. I love that she squeaks. And we see during the party, she claps with her fingers because it's loud. She's cute. She's absolutely lovely. Anyway, so Mirabel goes to Dolores. She tells her, besides you yelling about it, I heard Louise her eye twitching all night. So Mirabel goes to Louise, whose power is being super strong. So yeah. She asks what's wrong, and after a musical sequence where Louise is like, even though I know I'm strong, but emotionally I'm not. All these pressures of being the strongest and needing to be strong all the time is weighing me down mentally. And I could use some help, but I don't know how. So Mirabel's like, yeah, that's awful. Let me give you a hug. I know that's terrible, and I wish you could do better. But, so, Louise, due to her pressures, tells Mirabel that last night during the party, that she felt weak, like her magic was fading. And then they talk about how, something about Bruno and how they could save the magic. So Mirabel goes to Bruno's tower and finds his prophecy, what he saw in the future. She gathers it up, almost dies in the process, like 3 times basically. Then gets out, goes to her room, which is also the nursery, by the way. I've already said that. She goes there, but before she could decipher anything, her Aunt Peppa comes in and grabs all the stuff for Antonio to go to his room. But Mirabel says, Bruno, and that leads into the greatest song of this movie, possibly in, maybe not entire, but the most of Disney's discography, we don't talk about Bruno, which I gotta say, it's really good. If I didn't have to worry about copyright, I would also put it in these videos, but I can't, because those videos are gonna be copyrighted to hell, like my initial Christmas review. So, but that was my bad. It was Wham. You can't have Wham in your videos. I should have known that. I should have realized. But anyway, after the song, Maribel puts together the prophecy, which is like a sheet of glass that shows what's going to happen, or has happened, because they're physical, so they can just stay throughout time. It shows her in front of Casita, and it's breaking and fixing. You know, I already said it. So after that, they have dinner because I totally forgot her name. I can't believe I forgot her name. The flower one, who's perfect. I'm kind of upset that I forgot her name. But yeah. So they have to go to a dinner where someone's gonna propose to the perfect one, but it goes all wrong because people are nervous, and also Dolores heard from Maribel talking to her dad about how she's gonna break the miracle and the magic. So, because Dolores, she hears everything. She's a bit of a gossip, so she talks to everyone about what she knows. So now everyone knows that Maribel is gonna possibly break the magic because she saw it because it's shown in Bruno's vision, and everyone doesn't like Bruno. And honestly, I can relate to Bruno. So yeah, the dinner fails. Everyone's mad at Maribel because she basically ruined it, because her dad and Dolores didn't want to keep their mouths shut or their hands steady during the dinner to make everything go smooth. So, because of that, the prophecy is scattered about because it's broken. Not that the fact that the actual physical prophecy is broken into shards, but suddenly these mice come and grab him, and they go in the walls, and that's where Maribel finds Bruno. Because he's been living in the walls for the past 10 years. And he looks surprisingly good for a guy who's been living in the walls of a house in the early 1900s. No, they probably has a form of air conditioning, but whatever. So, Maribel talks to Bruno, talks about what the prophecy means, and she learns about it. And Bruno's like, I'm sorry, I can't do much, but I don't really have a good reason why you should go, but you should go. But Maribel realizes, have enough of vision! So, Antonio helps because Bruno needs a wide open space to do the visions. They go to his room, which is a giant forest. Excuse me. So they have a vision that shows that Maribel needs to hug someone. Isabella's the perfect one. Because I remember her saying after the vision that she has to hug Isabella to fix it, but not really as Isabella, because initially it was a young Abuela. But since Isabella looks pretty close to her young grandmother, it switches, because that's a butterfly point. Because literally in the prophecy, the new one, it shows a butterfly onto a leaf. So it's a butterfly effect that hugging Isabella helps the family fix itself and the house. So she tries to hug Isabella, they figure out her problems, and Maribel just realizes that she wants to be free. She doesn't want to be held down by being the perfect one. So during the heat of the moment, she makes a cactus instead of a flower. So she realizes that when emotions are high or different, she can make different types of plants instead of just flowers. So she becomes this ragtag plant warrior with wacky colors. And then after the whole climactic song, Abuela comes to the house. I was like, "What are you doing? You can't be doing this. You're making everything wrong. You're ruining everything, Mirabel." And Mirabel's like, "Yeah, you suck for being this kind of jackass, man." So after that, the house officially breaks because they had their falling out, and the magic fails, and the casita is destroyed, and Mirabel has the last of the wick in her hand, and it goes out. And after that disturbing sequence of events, then Encanto is broken open a bit. There's like a crack through the mountain, and so, so Abuela finds Mirabel near the lake where her husband died. Abuela's husband died, and she tells Mirabel the whole story, what actually happened, because she's been sort of like wishy-washy with it to make it a bit cleaner, so it's not as scary and more of an uplifting story, rather than a depressing one that happened to have a good thing happen because of it. So now that they reconcile and realize what they've been doing wrong, they try to